Yes, and we are live with you, Brandon, in Facebook Live, and we have so many communities that are joining us. And in a moment, we will have Dr. Nader Butto with us. He's just finishing the last session for the day, and he will join us. But first, I want to thank you. Thank you for the lovely meditation you've done for Israel. I know how much this is important for you, what we are going through, and how much you love Israel, and how many times you've been in Israel in the last years.
Well, I loved the fact that we had Arabic and Hebrew translation for this live global prayer, and we were joined by people all around the world with a prayer for peace for the Israelis and the Palestinians, and just bonding in the one love that's underneath all of life that connects us all. And so it was very beautiful, and I hope that more people join in to be part of that transmission, so that more collective consciousness is moving towards an area of the world that very much needs that embrace. So I'm very much also looking forward to tonight's transmission, because we'll have a chance to share all about Israel, and when Nada gets on, have a chance to dive into ways to find peace in the heart of conflict. Yeah,
exactly. And I want to share with you that for today's session with Nader and yourself, we collaborated or joined forces. We call it Enlightened Alliance with Together, with a group of 190 different mentors and therapists who are publishing it right now from their pages. Also, the light community in Israel, a lot of light workers that you sent them in the past, your blessing, and they're all publishing it in their sites, and other groups that feel that this is very important for us, this conversation between you and Nader Butto, that will bring some hope, some love, some unity to Israel in this tough time. And just for the people who missed the meditation at 7 Israeli time, you can still see it on the Facebook page. And even so you are not in sync with the live broadcast, it is still working and will continue to work on the next coming days. So connect to this beautiful meditation at Sansang, and I will see it, and everybody will continue to see it. And right now, what I'm asking you, my friends, and you see here a lot of love for you from everybody in Israel, from Efrat, and from Dr. Prudence Hall, and from Yardena, and many, many others who share the love. Right now, we will ask everyone just to do one thing, and we already have 230 participants. Share this video so more and more people can see it. The only thing you need to do, כל מה שאתם צריכים לעשות, everything you need to do is share, שתף, and we'll see it. So this is very important in order to really spread the word and make sure that it works. I hear that Nader has some technical difficulties that will be solved, because he has people around him that will help him connect. And I will send him the link again, and we will start in a moment with him.
Well, this is natural in life. These technical hiccups happen, and especially when we're all connecting from different parts of the world. And so I'm just really delighted that I'm having a chance to have this time to meet in this one love.
Exactly. And I know that due to the tough situation that we are in right now, I will say it in the beginning before Nader is joining. You have decided to postpone a little bit the big journey event that you were intending to do in the beginning of June, and we will do it at the beginning of August. That will give people time to relax, to breathe in, and be ready.
And settle down, yes, after
Exactly.
this. Right now, you know, it's life and death, and people are going in and out of their bomb shelters and going to a very deeply liberating and healing seminar. It's just that's not where people are. Right now, we're in survival mode there. And, you know, people, I have a woman who's up in Tanya, up in, you know, north of Tel Aviv. And even she, multiple times throughout the day, is having to go into the bomb shelter. And of course, what this does to the nervous system, the fear that everyone's living in, and have dear beloved friends in Jerusalem, and they have their grandchildren in another part where there's much more conflict happening. And of course, every day is a day of sitting on their, you know, hands and they're hoping that, you know, their family is all right. And so from what I'm hearing from all of our beloveds, and we have, you know, thousands of them there in Israel, is that it's much worse than it's ever been before. Because I was there during that time with the Iron Dome about 6 years ago. But there, it didn't feel as quite as volatile as it does right now. And so it is a tough time for everyone living through it. No matter what side we're on, we're all the people there in that region are dealing with survival fear.
Yes.
And yeah.
So I hope that you can see that Nader is with us.
Nader.
Hello,
So happy to meet you finally.
Happy to meet you too.
You know, so often I hear about you from our journey practitioners, and I have actually experienced some of your work, and it's very powerful work, and I felt graced in it, liberated in it, and I'm just really thrilled to meet the founder of such beautiful, energetic work. And so just a heartfelt namaste.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be with you and to speak with you. And I see your work as well, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much but for the light that you are expanding in this world.
Amazing.
Well, I think we could say the same about each other, about all three of us here.
Yes, and this is
and thank you for Doron. I thank Doron as well for this occasion, you know. And I think that this is something that we must do today in order to give to give everybody another perspective how to see the things, and not only to be in the suffering and to be as victims. That to see this all this view as something that lies spiritual messages behind this, and we should maybe today speak about this and to understand better how we can see this reality differently.
Exactly. And I will just start with introducing you both, because there are many communities here. Your community, Nader, your community, Brandon, and many other communities. And Brandon Beyes, for the people who are not familiar with her, and there is not a lot in Israel, is a best-selling author, founder of the Journey Method, an international expert in the field of emotional healing. And Dr. Nader Butto is an international renewed author who wrote many books, cardiology expert, but also created methods such as how do you call it in English? Your methods?
Unified integrative medicine. Unified integrative medicine.
Unified integrative medicine.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Exactly. And both of you have done a lot in this year for the Israelis, and I would love really to you to share some of your thoughts about the last year in Israel with Corona and current valiant situation, just to start with, because you were both very, very involved, both with Israelis, but on international level this year. It was, I think, from looking at both of you, from my point of view, it was a breakthrough year when your leadership, soul leadership, came a big time. So I would love to hear your point of view. We'll start with you, Brandon.
Well, for me, we ended up in lockdown. We came from Australia over India and skidded into Greece. 2 days later, we went into a hard lockdown. And like Israel, that meant borders closed, everything closed. And with the Israelis I began working with, I became aware that none of us were going to come out of lockdown for quite some time. And I realized that I just had to surrender my whole schedule, that I had back-to-back seminars that I was giving live and in person, and instead just make every single day an outreach video to Israel, to the world, giving them the tools to deal with this unprecedented time where none of us were given a manual. How do you deal with a pandemic? How do you deal with losing your job, your livelihood, being shut down and locked in with your family? And each of us had different stresses arise as a result of this. And I was so grateful. I was online with you many times, Doron, where I was literally giving the work away because we were having, all of us, I feel, are being triggered. And it's like we're in this pressure cooker. And these unmet emotional issues that we have stored inside, that are literally stored inside ourselves, life triggered us. And on automatic pilot, knee-jerk response, are emotional patterns that we have not been willing to address or meet, that we've denied and buried and tucked away and swept under the carpet, just came roaring up. And so for me, it was a time with my Israeli beloveds to give them the tools to welcome these emotions that were rising up to the surface, to meet them fully, to embrace them, to go into the core of them, to find the peace that is in the core of all suffering. Because if you really embrace whatever strong emotion is here and open into it, you will naturally and quite spontaneously open down through various layers of emotions until you end up opening into the infinite love that is all of our essence. That is an infinite intelligence where we feel part of the whole universe and connected to all of existence. And it's from that level that true healing can begin, true understanding can arise, and forgiveness is available. And then true physical, emotional, spiritual healing can happen. And as I've heard Naader say, there is nothing that cannot be healed by love. And so these tools give people the practical, step-by-step means to open into this love, not as a conceptual experience, but as a direct living experience of their own divine potential. And so it's been a very important time. Every single day I made 110 videos free of charge, offered to the world just in service to giving people a method and work that they could do at home to finally meet all these issues that we've all of us been in denial about. So, but I'm sure that Naader handled it a different way. And I would love to hear his take on how he was serving mankind through this time where everything had to become virtual.
Exactly. And before he wasn't willing to do a lot of live sessions. Now he's the expert of the experts, bringing thousands of people live. And he said yes to everyone in this year. And
quiet, everyone, not everyone. Well, actually, I'm seeing what is happening now. The corona and the war as an opportunity to change, an opportunity to change paradigms in different levels, in the health system level, in the education level, and in the social and economical level. I think that without having all these difficulties, and we have enough experience from the past that teach us that without having these difficulties and these obstacles, people wouldn't make changes. And the change that we have to do should be guided, because otherwise could be, in different changes, not always in the right direction. And this is the place and this is the time to redirect the direction and to say that we want to understand better what lies behind all these events. And first of all, from the, we take the corona pandemic, we understand that it was instant to have the Third World War. We have, God is generous, and he said this time, instead of war and destruction, I give you a pandemic. Because
yes,
because actually, if you look what happened worldwide is exactly what's happening during war. Everything is closed. There's no activity. There's no economical activity. There's no education. There's no, and you have a health problem, and health hospitals are full, and you have sometimes even insufficiency of the hospitals to face the quantity of disease of the sick people that come to the hospitals. So I think that this is a kind of war, but much better without destruction. And it's interestingly that in Hebrew, war and disease, they have exactly the same letter, and milchama. So both they are symptoms of a lack of harmony and synchronicity. So the war and the disease, they come in order to reestablish the order, to reestablish the harmony and the coherence in the systems. And we deal with disease as something that is wrong. But actually the disease is the way how the organism make everything in the right place and the right function again. So the inflammation, when we deal, for example, with inflammation, it's not the disease, the inflammation, is the repair of the problem is inflammation. So each time that we have some injury, we have inflammation. So the inflammation comes to repair the damage, and it's not the disease itself. We consider the inflammation as a disease, and we treat it with anti-inflammatory drugs. But actually, the inflammation is the symptoms of repairing the problem, and the war is the same thing. The war, when the war arrived to the point that there's no balance in the systems. So the war and the pandemic come to reestablish this balance. So we consider it as a way that this time God said, well, I will give you an examination that not very difficult as a war, but as a pandemic, everything will be locked. However, you have to be aware to wake up and to make changes in order to prevent the deterioration of the situation. What happened in Israel, that the corona was not so hard in order to make the changes. So God said, well, you didn't complete the work, so little war in order to complete this kind of work. So I look at this, and maybe after that, I will speak on the spiritual perspective about how we can make these changes. But I would love to hear you as well.
Mm-hmm. You know, when I first came back from India and we went into lockdown, I said, this is like an invitation to the whole of the world to go within and to really meet our soul's purpose in being here and to shed this that's no longer serving us and to open into a deeper truth within. And it felt to me like the whole world had just gone still. And that some people responded to this invitation to go within and to heal. And it's been bliss for them. And some people responded to this invitation as if it was a bad thing. As you said, as if it's the terrible thing. It's the inflammation, when in fact that inflammation is what's creating healing. And so the resistance that arose to what is, what can't be changed, I feel created a lot of internal friction for people. And because people were not given that manual, it exacerbated that. And yet others, they've been flying. They may have lost their jobs, you know, and they may be really living simply hand to mouth, and yet they opened to the invitation that life was offering to see what the purpose in all of this was, to fathom the divine mystery of the gift that life gave us. And so for me, this COVID time was personally, from a career perspective, the biggest stretch of my life. Having been offering Journey for 26 years and 44 out of 53 weeks of the year, I'm in a different country each week. And suddenly, I'm not allowed to move. And this work is so highly experiential. And it was not something I felt could even be done online. And just the having to surrender to what is allowed an expansion within myself to go beyond every comfort zone and know that consciousness is so powerful that the presence of grace, of love, is so powerful that it can transmit that consciousness collectively to those who are virtually receiving. And so it's been a constant stretching of my comfort zones until it feels like every door has been opened within myself. And I didn't feel that there were closed doors before it started, but I began to investigate where they were closed. And so this spiritual gift of this was really on so many levels morphing into a virtual business that could really reach many hundreds of thousands of people more than just individually going to each country. And this prayer for people to get this liberating and healing work has been answered beyond every prayer I could ask to pray. And yet I could not have foreseen that this was the direction it would take. And so I feel that life has made an invitation to all of us to surrender to what is here right now. And in that, to be stretched beyond our comfort zones, to open to this guidance, as you've said, this divine guidance of the heart that guides us purposefully in each and every moment. And so it's been a big call. It's been a war, for all of us, and not just the war that's happening right now in Israel, but the war that pandemic brought upon us. And that has really been an invitation to uncover why we are here, who we are as human beings, what our purpose is in each and every moment, and to listen deeply to the guidance of the heart. And those people who kept surrendering and surrendering and do keep surrendering are feeling a bliss at listening to this inner guidance and being true to truth. And so it's been a spiritual awakening of sorts for the world, I feel, but people had to choose to view it that way and to get the most out of this time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
absolutely, because actually not everybody is seeing this, and unfortunately, a very small, very few people that they're seeing like this, and this is the reason why the state of tension and anxiety increased lately. However, there are a lot of people that they are waiting for. It's a little bit push just to wake up and to see the reality as it is in other eyes. And when I see in other eyes, I mean the eyes of the soul. And here we touch the real purpose of all these difficulties, obstacles that we are facing. Actually, they are the triggers for changing. And if we take the health system, for example, we arrive to the point that the actual health system is very good for treating a condition such an acute condition that you can save lives. However, it failed completely in prevention of the disease and failed completely in treating chronic conditions. So here it comes the changes of the paradigm. We have to change this paradigm, which is the biomedical paradigm, and to change it by inserting the real essence of the human being, by inserting the soul in the equation. What we don't have right now in medicine and in life sciences, there's lack of soul. And you can imagine something without soul is no life. So that our medicine is without soul. We concentrate only in the chemical and the physical aspect of the physical body, and we neglected completely the psychological aspect, and we didn't recognize at all the presence of the spiritual dimension. And here the changes of the paradigm, and that says we have to insert the human being is made of body, psyche, and soul. And if we want to change the paradigm, we have to take all these three aspects in the diagnosis and the treatment.
Yeah.
And the problem is with the soul. The problem is with the soul because many believe that there's no such a thing as a soul in science, but they are neglecting the fact that soul is nothing else but energy and information. And we have energy, we have information. We can quantify this energy by scientific means. So we can speak about the soul as energy and information, and we can take in consideration the information as the epigenetics. The epigenetics is the information that controlling the genetic. And here we are in a situation that, there's no prevention for the coronavirus. There's no treatment, and we have to wait until the person will be aggravated in his situation and to be intubated or to go to the ICCU in order to save him. Why? We have a lot of drugs that we can use in order to increase the vitality of the person and to prevent the aggravation of the disease. We can even prevent the development of the disease by giving things that are antioxidants, like vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, or even simple fruit juice or vegetable juice, or simple substances that are without patent, and they are available for everybody, and they are effective to increase our vitality, to sleep well, to be active physically, and to make exercises, to be exposed to the sun, to have positive relationship. And we discovered actually that all the things that were said not to do during this period, these are the things that we should do.
Yes.
Yeah. So we understand what we should do by the things that they told us not doing these things.
Yes.
It becomes easy to understand what we should do. No.
Amen.
So we have actually to change the paradigm and to look what lies behind, which is the program, but that we came here in this life with this program in order to realize this program, and this is the destiny, and this is the faith, and this is the path of every one of us that should discover and see how we can realize our aspiration in life with sense of love, happiness, and freedom.
Oh, exactly what I wanted to ask you about, because you both teach about love. You both believe in love as a medicine. And my question is about love and unity. Can it be created with so much violence erupting right now in this area? Because people, are going to sleep with bombs and in both sides, and they want to feel love, they want to feel unity, and this is so tough. Help us here.
Well, in my case, I just did this global prayer for peace there in Israel and Palestine, and one of the things I spoke about is that when we have conflict within and the internal, there's battle going on inside. And what happens is, when we have fear going on, we have helplessness, vulnerability, often that we lash out with anger and aggression as a form of defense so that we don't have to feel these emotions. And that I actually had people do an exercise where they went to a recent time where the pressure built up and they just exploded or lashed out or were aggressive or blaming and judging. And to roll the cameras back just to that moment prior to that lashing out, to the impulse to lash out, and then to roll the cameras back prior to that millisecond, and open up, and what were you really feeling? And to really embrace that, and then open and go into the core of it. And that deeper and deeper, they went into deeper and deeper emotions until eventually, spontaneously and quite naturally, they opened into their own soul, into this vast field of love where we feel part of the fabric of the universe. And I, was sharing, okay, we're all in this right now, this presence of love, and it's from this place that true healing can occur, that true forgiveness is available. And it can't happen from the place of the mind. It has to happen from the level of the soul, from this place of infinite love. And so it's my direct living experience and hundreds of thousands of others that you can find the peace in the core of suffering, and that in that peace that when you open into this love, it gives permission to others to do the same, and it becomes a living transmission. And that was the purpose of this global prayer that we were doing, was to be a living transmission of this love, specifically in that area with so much tumultuous conflict going on, and to open into that place that is always here, that's prior to any emotion, this place that's prior to any thought, this that is the foundation of all of existence. And so, being very practical, you can open into that, and from that place heal every aspect of your life. And so this is, practical means for us, no matter what's going on around us, it is possible to find the peace that underlies all of existence, even if there's war happening.
However, there's a little difficulty in some people to find this peace if they are in the basic things they don't have. They don't have the security. They don't have the basic existence or material things.
Yes.
So it's like, I think that we can heal this with love. However, would be better if we go, and search for the reasons and the roots of the things in order to resolve. Because today I arrived to the conclusion, if I want to heal somebody, it's not enough to deal with the symptom. I want to understand what is the reason for this symptom. And the reason, we find it in the psyche. And behind the psyche, there is the need of the soul. So the need of the soul is searching for difficulties, problems, and obstacles in order to make changes. Because the soul came here to this life in order to make a kind of workshop to grow and to evolve. So if I accept the events in life, I can change, I can learn, and I can complete the learning process and can go on. If I reject the events in life, it becomes a conflict. So the conflict actually create the fear, create the insecurity, create all the negative emotions. However, we have to go back and say why they are angry, why you are afraid, what lies behind this? What lies behind this? The need of the soul to complete the learning process, to accept the events in life, and to understand that we choose this place and this time because it can serve us to make the changes. It's not against us. So we have to speak about, look to the positive part, what lies behind this. How can I take advantage of the situation in order to grow quickly? You know what happened in last year, in 2020, it was for me incredible, because in 1 year, I published 16 articles. In 1 year, in physics, in integrative medicine, that in all my career, I published 3 articles. In 10 years. Yeah. So it was a big opportunity for me, because I took this advantage. Instead to say, wow, they closed the borders, I cannot go to Europe to make my seminars, and here. I said, no, this is an opportunity. I take advantage of this, and I live here and now. And I activate the system that I say, how can I take advantage of the difficult situation? Instead to be victim and just to reject the situation and to aggravate the situation. Because like this, I can, create more conflicts. So if we go to the Palestinians and Israeli conflict, what I came to the conclusion that this is the university for territorial conflicts. All the souls that they need this kind of changing in considering that territory, because everybody thinks that we are eternal, so we have to make a war because this is mine. They didn't understand actually that this is an opportunity in order to free from the dependency of the territory. Once you made this, every place is your place. And it's not important where. Every place is your place. So you can, and everybody is your friend. And your heart is open, your soul is open, and you are the winner. If you do this, if you love the others, you are happy. And you are the winner. If you give the others, you win. And all the time we are, they teach us you have to be successful by achieving things and to having more money and to have more position and to be more important. And this is the way how you can, your success can be measured. But my success is measured how much I am happy. I am happy or not happy. And this is our measure.
Amazing. Amazing. I want to say something because you are giving a lot of inspiration to a lot of people in this difficult time. And you've both been very, very successful and effective, moving your teaching online, teaching many people more easily. And do you think that this will continue to be the path in the future, that people will go online, connect from all around the world? I know that Nader, you are doing soon course in Europe from Israel, and Brandon, you are doing a big event in Israel from whatever, Greece, Australia, whatever you will be. And you both invested heavily in creating materials for online to unite and to connect to people via technology. Tell me what you think about it a little bit.
Well, for myself, I've been just in a constant state of revelation. Last night I was offering a satsang for a group of 110 Czech people who had gone through the Journey Intensive and 37 journey practitioners who were holding the embrace for it. And one woman said she was so grateful that it was all online because she never would have had the courage to go to the course in person. She would have felt too self-conscious, too shy. She couldn't have opened up. And yet being in the privacy and the safety of her own home. The second thing she said was, I could never in the past have worked with a man because I've had a lot of trouble and trauma in that department. And yet it was assigned to me that I was to work with a man. And because I was in the safety of my own environment, she said I was able to open up entirely and had the most profound and liberating process. And part of the process work is uncovering exactly what Nader was talking about, is the karmic reason why we're having to go through these life lessons, what we're needing to learn from them, and how we can apply that lesson that we're learning into the future in a healthy and life-giving and life-affirming way. And so she was saying that she had some of the deepest work and could never have done it in person. And it is true that when you're in a seminar, you're looking at the person next to you and, oh, they're crying, but I'm not. And this person, oh, I'm crying, and what are they going to think of me? And there is so much self-consciousness that there's distraction. Whereas in this virtual format, anything is possible and you're in safety in your own home. And so it's a constant revelation to me, the awakening that's possible, the healing that people have shared that they wouldn't have survived physically because of their illness this year without undergoing this emotional healing work and this soul clearing work that they actually healed, even though they were told that that was not possible by the medical field. And so I've heard countless stories of that. And so I had to reverse all my ideas about what's possible and just listen to all the delegates, the thousands around the world. Any given weekend, there could be a number of journey programs going on. And it is a wonder to me, the depth of healing and realization and awakening happening. And so, yes, we plan to move forward this way. And the live in-person events will be solely for those who've gone through the full practitioner program and are ready to work at a much deeper level. And so that's a commitment I've made to make this work available for people who in a million years never would go to a seminar. So I agree with you, Doron. It is the way of the future if you want a depth of realization and transmission to take place.
And I read a lot of feedback from the participants that have done it this year online. Wow. For some, it is stronger than live sessions. Yeah. They do it from home. And I'm moving to you. And I just wrote here below that you will have the Journey Intensive with translation to Hebrew on August 10th and 11th. And, yes. And thank you for that. And thank you for continuing investing in Israel. There are hundreds of facilitators for the journey and thousands of people that have done it during the year. And Nader, for you as well, this year, I know that 500 people have done the first course of integrative medicine. And now you are going to do it in English worldwide on June 26th. So it's a huge change, 500 people at the same time. And it's more affordable, more, available. And again, people can do it from home. It was a huge change for you as well.
That's right. I think that we are evolving, and some of the signs of the evolution is the technology that we wouldn't have using this technology without the corona pandemic. So all these are the trigger signs that just increase the speed of changing. Otherwise, we are slowly by changing. And it comes to tell us, go forward, go quickly. You are connected. You are connected in a wholeness. And the technology is just an expression of the spiritual world. We are connected spiritually, but we are not aware about this. And the technology expresses this connection. So by the soul, I can connect with everybody everywhere without limits. And now with the technology, we are doing the same thing, and we believe that it is possible, because with the spiritual aspect, nobody believes that I can connect with somebody that is in Peru or in Brazil or in Australia. And now with the technology, because the technology actually is expression of the spiritual knowledge. Our consciousness manifests in this way, actually, because all what we are discovering in our life by technology, it was preceded by the spiritual realm is present there. And what we are actually we are expressing what we have inside our system. So the computer and the television and the cellular phones and all this communication, actually, they are present everywhere in the spiritual realm. And now we are seeing this technologically. And this comes to tell us that we can come back to the spiritual realm and to believe that we are connecting. We are one. We are one system. Don't believe that the people in Gaza are separated from us, what we are here. Because it seems that our toes, are very, very far from us. No? So it's not mine, so I can do whatever in my fingers without having influence in my body. And that's not true. All the changes that one spine, small spine that I have in my toe, it could change the quality of my life. And we have to change this paradigm of fragmentation and separation. We are not fragmented, we are not separated. We are one organism with different members and different function and different vibration. So if you believe that this other side is not you and you can make damage, so it's like to say, you know, my feet is very far from me. I can do whatever thing without having influence on my health. And it's not true. We are in one holographic system. We are connected in one system that is the whole is together, and each one has to understand and accept the function in this system. It's like different cells in the same organ and different organs in the same body. And each one has his unicity and his unique function, but is very indispensable for the rest of the body. So I cannot neglect the cells of the liver or the cells of the small intestine, or because we are all together, we are connected. We have to change the vision of seeing different countries that are separated. We are not separated. We are the same organism. We have to give a special care for the others in order to have a well-being in our system.
Absolutely. I would like you, Brandon, to have any closing thoughts or advice for us in these dark times. And then Nader, to ask you to finish with a small prayer meditation to unite everyone that is here. We have 650 people right now with us that are so connected and so emotionally moved by the two of you who are bringing so much light in this difficult time. So any closing thoughts or advice from you, Brandon?
Is to trust yourself and to accept what's here. And as Nader says, to always look to what is the opportunity here, or I call it the invitation being made by life, and to recognize that everything that is happening for a reason and a purpose, and is an opportunity for all of us to grow and to heal in our lives. And so what if everything that was happening was meant to happen just as it is, and that all of it was for your own growth? And what if we could find the gift in every single situation, in each moment? And so to look for the mystery, the gift that life is offering you, even if the gift doesn't show up looking like you expected it to look. And so it's to trust this, trust life, and find what it is your soul needs to learn and grow from this moment.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for your generosity and for being here so present. And we will move to the prayer meditation from you, Nader.
Thank you very much for your messages. I'm grateful to share with you this kind of messages. And I think this is very important for everybody to open to be aware about what lying behind all these things. Don't just think or look to the manifestation of the phenomena. Look what behind this. And here with the meditation that we will do together, actually, we emphasize the connection between us. We emphasize that we are different. And it's written in the Quran, if God wanted to create all people the same, he could do it, but he didn't. So we are different in order to have stimulation for growth and evolution. So we do the meditation in English. Okay, so everybody can do it together. You just take a deep breath, close your eyes, take deep breath again, and close your eyes. And when you take out the breath, just feel the relaxation wave in all your body. Visualize a beam of white light emanating from the sky and descending down through your body and deep in the center of the earth. You are grounded and you are safe. Now, visualize that we are connected together with the beam that came from the sky to create conus over our heads. And you just visualize that this light is expanding in our heart, and this light is expanding out of our body, and this light is expanding in the room where we are staying and the city we are staying. And in all the country. We are connected together with this light. So we visualize this light flowing through your heart and through your hands, and directly to Israelis and Palestinians, harmonizing everyone and bringing peace and love. We are aware that we came to this life in order to face these difficulties, which are part of the workshop. Now, the white color of the light, the white light that coming from the sky and descending down, will encounter the red color light that comes from the ground, creating a pink light in the heart, and flowing outside from our heart to the heart of everybody, to heal the conflicts of each one, especially who had a lot of fears and anxiety. Now imagine that you have a guiding spirit. So ask your guiding spirit to direct energy of peace and harmony to all unresolved situations regarding the Israeli and Palestinian conflicts and everyone involved in it. Let this energy flow from your heart to the heart of those from both sides who are dominated by the darkness, in order to illuminate their heart with love and wisdom. Allow this energy to continue to flow through your heart and through your hands for a few minutes. Try to feel compassion in your soul. Compassion. Compassion, you can imagine this is the connection with the essence of God. This is the compassion. Once we have compassion, we have unconditional love. We love everybody, especially our enemy. Which become our friend. By doing this, in our system appear the coherence, and this gives us a lot of force and power in order to continue our self-realization and to cope with all the difficulties, obstacles, and problems in life. We are so grateful for God for giving us these opportunities in order to grow and evolve. We believe in God, which is one God for everybody, is the same God. And we thank God every day, every moment, for all the gifts, including the one that appear is bad, but actually the bad thing is better than the good things because it make us changing more quickly and more effectively. Remain with this vision that we are connected together. We love everybody because love is the way, and happiness is our sign. And the light is the real purpose of all this cycle of lives. We came from the light and we will come back to the light. Take deep breath. And come back to yourself. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I love everybody. I love you.
And we love you, Nader, and we love you, Brandon. And thank you for connecting the two of you, and for Laor, who had this idea of connecting you both, and to all of your students in Israel and all around the world who are joining now. And let's stay with this.
Thank you very much, Brandon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Here, and for you, Doron, for bringing this all into this one light and this one love. It's a beautiful offering in real service to life. Thank you.
Yes, everybody is saying thank you, including our partners, ביחד, התאגדות האור, together, the Light Alliance. Have a good night, and let's have peace, love, and unity.
Amen.
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 Amen. Bye-bye.